Okay. So we can go. So there is a first question. I see there is not so many of us, but those people who are here, are you considering to apply for the RR position? That's the first question.
Hi, Luisa.
Hello, Luisa. Okay, there are 4 people in the Mentimeter. So maybe we can move to the next question.
Yeah.
Are you considering with your LC to apply for hosting the next regional meeting? Okay, it's great to see that at least we have at least one person for each category.
Yeah.
Yes. So first of all, there are the open calls for the regional representatives and the regional meetings. This is why we organize this session, this meeting, to tell you a little bit more about our experiences and the OC's experiences with organizing regional meetings. Elif will send in the chat the links to these open calls. And the important for Southern Europe, for which this session is meant mainly, the deadline is 30th April at midnight. If there is anyone from Northern Europe, the deadline is 25th April, and for the other regions, it's 15th May. So you still have time to apply if you want. And before we come to the main point, we would like to promote more the Southern European regional meeting of this year that is organized by the LC Thessaloniki from Greece. It will take place between 6th and 9th May. And here you can see the links or where you can follow in social media the SERM to not miss any updates. And it will be awesome.
Okay, so in today's meeting, we will have 2 sections. First sections will be with the OCs from the SERM 2017, 18, and 19. And the outline of the first session is we will start with the OC's experiences, and there will be 10 minutes per OC, and they will answer our guiding questions. And after that, we will have a short Q&A session with the OCs. And then in the second section, we will share our experiences with Šimon as regional representatives. And then we will have also a Q&A session for you. So we can start with the OC representatives. And today we have Emil from Bulgaria, who was in the organizing committee of SERM 2017. And we have right now Fifi, who was in the organizing committee of SERM 2018. And also, I guess Madalena and Pedro will join later. And also we have Liaba, who was in the organizing committee in SERM 2019. And we would like to thank you all for joining us today and sharing your experiences with us. It will be very, very valuable for possible candidates. So here you can see our structure. There will be 10 to 15 minutes per OC, as I said before, and we have 5 guiding questions. So maybe we can start with the SERM OC 2019. Liaba, would you like to start?
Do you need the questions to see the questions, or can I stop sharing the screen?
Well, actually, I just threw together some slides as well where the questions are inside. So you can stop sharing and I can put up my screen if that's possible.
Okay. Great. So I will give you permission to share.
I will try at least very spontaneously. I'm just gonna talk a bit. All right. Let's see. Now, does that work?
Yeah, great.
Okay, good. And you see it properly?
Yes, everything is good.
Okay, perfect. I don't know if you still see me, but I tried to put in a nice background. Oops, like this.
Yes,
That
we
is
can
Switzerland.
still see.
That is our SERM. So just for organizing, in general, our SERM was, from my side, or also from the rest of the OC, it was pretty much perfect from the organization part, from our feeling. I don't know, I think the participants had fun as well, but from the organization, it was very nice. Very nice organized. We had 5 people, and we, from the beginning, we started very early, half a year before. We met once a month. We had, from the start, we had kind of a plan how to organize ourselves, how to put our documents somewhere, how to share communication, how to work together as an OC. And for us, it was super important to talk about it from the beginning. How do we work together? How much time does everyone have? Do we say it early if someone is overworked or just doesn't get along with what he's doing right now? And just talking about that was, I think, a big part of why our team worked so nicely. We parted it into 5 resorts, kind of, but I guess only 2 people worked only on their resort. So we had someone doing the program, we had someone doing the sponsoring, and then we had someone doing kind of sponsoring, but also helpers in marketing. And then we had someone who did website and a bit of the budget and finances. And we had someone who did also a bit of the budget, a bit of just organizational stuff, and also a bit of finances. So 2 people really focused on one thing, and the rest had their stuff, but also it was not as clear. And of course, everyone just also did what was needed. Plus, apart from our OC 5 people, we had lots of helpers, and that was also something from the beginning that we tried to do. Have many helpers, just people that don't want to take a lot of workload, but we can ask, okay, can you do exactly this for me? Can you go there and print 20 pages of 20 times our waiver, something like that? Just people who would go and do something specific, but don't want to take responsibility. Also, during the week, we had lots of helpers. That was very important for us to have a nice and easy running of the whole thing. So that's on the top right, that's us, 5 OC. And what was also for us, the most important thing is, I think, that everyone was really hyped up about SERM and organizing SERM. On the left, there's a couple of helpers. We had, I think, 7 people or so who were helping us, plus minus, during the week and before. And of course, all the participants were a lot of fun. The challenges during the event, money is always a challenge during the organization. I think that won't be different in the other 2 SERMs as well. But I guess we had a special position with the money, because our biggest problem was that the budget was not clear for a very long time. We did not have the yes from a lot of sponsors for a long time, so we didn't know how much money can we give for program, how much money can we give for housing and transportation. In the end, it turned out we amounted about twice as much in sponsoring money that we actually needed for the event, but I think that's not the norm. We just had an awesome sponsoring guy. What we found that was actually an issue as well was hosting a group of 50 people, especially in Switzerland, in the countryside. It was very hard to find housing for 50 people to sleep. And then the bus is limited, and then for just walking around somewhere, a group of 50 people is big. That was kind of a challenge that took some logistics. And then, but I think what really helped with kind of all the challenges was that we were so many people. 5 people is, I think, quite a lot for an OC. We're not all doing the same workload or the same work, but just having many people was so important to us. So always someone could just jump in when there was something missing. Also during the week, we always had one person responsible for the day, and one person could just relax and participate. And that also helped a lot to enjoy the event. If you know that at this specific day, you don't really have to take care of anything as an OC because the other ones are doing it. So if you can find many people, I would highly recommend it because it just takes stress out of everything. And then one question was kind of, did we improvise? Of course we did improvise with a lot of things, but we tried to, especially for the week, for the program, because we had quite a tight, as always, quite a tight program, lots of transport. So we try to think it through every single step as detailed as you can manage. That was a big point why the week itself went pretty smoothly, and we had time and capacity to react to stuff that we had to improvise. For example, we forgot the waivers. We had to make them in the first 2 hours of the event. We had to make them ready and have them ready, and we were so happy that we made them ready, then improvised in the back of someone, because second thing, improvisation, have an emergency plan for if something goes wrong. At the last day of our event, someone had to go to the hospital. And if we hadn't had the waivers and the health insurance, this would have been a bit difficult. But like we did it, improvised it, we managed it. We were many OC people, so one person from the OC could actually just go to the hospital with the guy, and the rest was still there and able to run the rest of the group, which was very important. So that was quite some improvisation. And also improvising about if a participant can't join for a day, someone gets sick, someone drank too much the night before and just can't participate in the day. I don't know, stuff happens like that. So improvisation is kind of, what do you do with this person in the day if they can't participate in the program, especially if the day means we travel from A to B. So again, we had many people, we had people we could call to help. So just to find an alternative, okay, what do we do with this person? How do we get them from A to B if they can't join the group? And improvisation took also sometimes in the program, we had to improvise a bit because the transfers took extra long and we were 2 hours or more late for somewhere a rendezvous point. But if you have, one thing that was important for us was to have someone responsible for the day. So there is not like, who do we ask? What do we do? It's just one person who deals with it, and the others are just there to help and to actually do it. That helped a lot with improvisation. So yes, we had to improvise during the event, but by the regular program being kind of well planned and having enough people, it was very easy to react to whatever we had to improvise. I just threw together a couple of pictures because they're not all from our event. They're half of them are our event, half of them are SERM 2017 in Bulgaria, because there is no pictures from Bulgaria right now, I know. So the top 2 ones are from Bulgaria and the bottom 2 ones are from Switzerland. Just some fun moments, highlights. Going to rafting or going on a glacier, looking at the glacier. We didn't go onto the glacier. Yeah, just awesome groups. Whatever, organizing a SERM, just keep the participants in mind because they make every single pain worth it. It was very good. It was also just fun to organize it. Like some top moments were when you get the goodie bags and when you knocked on doors to ask for stuff weeks and weeks and weeks, and then a package arrives with something. It's like Christmas, but better. because it's for 50 people. So it was great. And then for us, I talked with my 4 colleagues also afterwards again quite a bit. Kind of every meeting was a highlight. And every time you can tell the others, hey, I managed this, or hey, I managed that. But also every time you tell a team member, I have trouble with this, can you help me? And they were like, yeah, of course I can. That is a highlight. So just the people make it worth it. And that's why the whole week we just had a great week. That's part of the organization. You do it to have an awesome time during the week, to have fun with the participants, to see your country in a new light. Again, that was also nice. Yeah, lots of fun moments. And will we do it again? Just tell us when. We will, of course, just come again. These pictures are actually also not from our SERM, but from the Bulgarian one. Have to make some advertisement for that one as well. The international night on top is always one of the best moments of the whole week. Yeah, so we would definitely do it again. We had challenges, we had improvisation, but in the end, if you see your participants in a group like this, and if you have your team of OCs, it's all worth it. That was it.
Thank you very much for presenting. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And you managed 10 minutes. That's very great. Amazing.
Okay.
And so now it's time for Filipa.
If please, we can wait for Madalena. She has the presentation.
Okay, Emil, are you ready already? Is it fine for you to go now or not? Emil, do you hear us?
I think that's not ready yet. Probably still cycling somewhere.
Yeah, okay, so
maybe there's also questions already.
Wait.
Maybe in 1 minute I'll be available.
Okay, are there any questions for Lioba in the meantime?
I can ask a question meanwhile, if that's okay. Yeah, so what I wanted to ask, if that you had like 5 people in the OC plus like 7 or so helpers, like did you have everyone with you during the whole tour? Or like, I don't know if you actually traveled around.
Yeah, we did travel around quite a bit, and we had, so the OC of course was always with us, but we had, separate from the bus, we had one car following us around. That was kind of the helper car. So the helpers didn't stay the whole week. Some of them just joined for a day. Some of them stayed for 2 or 3 days. I think 1 or 2 stayed for the whole week. I don't even remember. But we had one car who could do logistics independent from the group. So this car also picked up helpers and brought them back and to a train station and went shopping when something was missing, or yeah, everything.
Okay.
It was very nice to have this flexibility.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I ask the participants actually, who of you thinks about organizing a SERM, applying for SERM?
Not SERM, but NERM.
Oh, NERM, all right. Okay, I see.
But like this, it said like everyone's welcome to join, so.
I mean, it's a meeting.
You can stop me even if you tried.
Okay, is there any other question for Lioba? Okay, so
I regret
Emil,
so much that I was not there.
Yes, we missed you. I missed you.
Yeah, I would also really like to thank, because I was a participant at SERM 2019, and it was overall an amazing experience. The OC was always there for us, and I think Lioba summarized really well the process of planning, and like I think it's going to be really helpful for the possible OCs. And yeah, I would like to thank you again very much.
Thanks, Elif. Oh, by the way,
hello, Simone.
also, sorry, I have something else. For our sponsoring guy, who is an amazing person, Luca, he really managed to amount twice as much money as we need. Well, like maybe a third more than we actually needed. So we had a lot of money left over. But he was awesome. He made a video on how to do funding, 10-minute video, about resume his experience in finding funding for this event that I can share with you guys in some way if you want to, no matter if you're organizing SERM or NERM or something for an event.
Yeah,
so
I think it
if
would be
we can find a way
great.
to share this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a link or is
All right.
on Drive or something? So you can send it in the chat.
Yes, I can put it on a drive for you guys.
Okay, that would be great.
All right.
And in the meantime, Emil, are you ready?
Yeah, Emil is here.
Awesome.
I'm here. Is it? Hello, everyone. Is it possible you share the screen so I see the questions?
Of course.
Because
Just a minute.
or you could. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I got them. Okay, you can revert back to non-sharing. I remember them. Okay. Well, our SERM was a while ago, 3 to 4 years ago. Thank you, Lioba, for sharing photos of our SERM. No copyright infringement applied, don't worry. It's a very nice compliment that you use those. Also, I'm happy to say that during our SERM, the Portuguese SERM was elected, and the Swiss SERM was, how do I say, the idea was planted in their heads. So they just needed 1 year extra to prepare, I guess. But, you know, as all Swiss timing and everything, their SERM was, I participated in the Swiss one. I couldn't go to the Portuguese one, sadly, but we sent other people from our LC there, and they had a lot of fun. For me personally, doing the Swiss SERM, yeah, timing was perfect. Organization was perfect, just basically like a Swiss watch. Now, for the Bulgarian SERM, there is some kind of fame for Eastern countries. Of course, that you could feel also during our SERM. It was very hearty, very full of a lot of love, a lot of expression, but also a bit of an improvisation on our part. The gist of it was that we were only 3 people. It was me, Violeta, and Vera. During that time, personally, I was writing a master thesis, and Violeta and Vera were writing, one was writing bachelor, one was writing master's. And I had to stop. I was listed as the coordinator, so I had to stop the master thesis for a little more. Plus, hello? Wow.
Still hear you.
Are you here, Emil? There's a problem with connection.
Can you hear us? Or
Yes, we can hear you.
I guess there was a problem with this connection. So Maybe we can move to our part with you, Šimon, or should we
Yes, I
wait?
was just thinking the same. Yeah. So the presentation for Portugal has Madalena, right? So we still need to wait for her.
Yeah, or I can like improvise, which I learn a lot organizing SERM.
As you wish. As you wish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I can start. Madalena probably is caught up in work. We both are having a lot of it these last weeks, so maybe I can start for the first question. Well, during all SERM organization, we were like, me and her, like established. I was, oh, there she is.
Perfect timing.
Speak of the devil.
I was just about to start like improvising.
What?
Like we learned in CERN, Madalena, improvising the presentation.
I just left work. I was having a meeting with my boss, guys. I'm sorry, but it was, yeah. So I finished doing the presentation as well. I'm just looking for a picture I found and I forgot to put it here. But otherwise, Felipe, if you want to start with it, then I'll share the screen.
Yeah, I was just talking about how many people were on the organizing team.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Madalena, we were like the heads of the OC. I was at the time the president of LC, so I was more like doing the budget, doing the bookings, more about that stuff. And Madalena was like the program organizer. Was also, we were both looking for sponsors, doing the crowdfunding, and then we had some help from two people on the Facebook announcements, designing the logos, the merchandising. We had lots of help in that stuff. But we had like a bit of struggles on the sponsors because we didn't have lots of connections at the time. The LC was like recovering from some downs phase, and after we knew we had SERM, we started to like really growing our connections to have sponsors and having that help. We were also doing a lot of events to raise money for the SERM, so that helped a lot. The crowdfunding did go well, maybe not as expected, but it was like a good help. More, Madalena.
It was a really hard SERM, to be quite honest. We were like Felipe said, we're not really that many, so it was really hard, but we ended up managing because we spent a year doing the things. Our money came mostly from the participants in the SERM. That's literally almost all the money came from them. What we managed to do mostly was price reductions. Almost no place gave us nothing for free. Not even, some places gave us the entries, but everything was more like on the reduced side, like 50% off or something. So, and we had some problems because at first, a lot of people said that they wanted to participate in the SERM. And so we opened 60 spots instead of the normal
50.
40. No, 60, almost 60. No?
Yeah.
I think, acho que sim. Foi quase 60.
No,
So
50.
Foi 50? Okay, so 50.
50.
Usually SERM, they are around 40, 30. And we decided, like, so many people were with the idea of coming that we just thought, okay, you know what, let's just open as many spots as we can. But the problem was a lot of people ended up not coming on the last minute. So we had a reservation for 50 something people because we were included for the hostel.
Accommodation.
Yeah, for the accommodation. And what happened was, in the end, we were lacking money because we didn't have enough money to pay. I mean, we paid the hostel, but we had way more spots than was supposed in the hostel, and they didn't give back the money. So that was actually really a problem, because that was some money that we needed, and they didn't pay us back, because they're like, oh, no, if you already reserved, it's reserved and you can have it. So that was actually a problem.
The fact that we chose to only have one accommodation in Lisbon, that brought us a problem that an hostel that could have the capacity to have 50 people, it was only one, and we booked it already because we were afraid that it would. We booked all the hostel for that week. So we had to schedule meetings after meetings to really negotiate the best price and the hostel for the whole week. So that was a bit difficult.
And pricey, and really pricey.
Yeah, but
I would say pricey mostly, because
still was a good deal. For 50 people, it was a good deal still. But after really negotiated, and yeah, but like Madalena said, it was really important to really negotiate with the sponsors, because we already knew that was going to be difficult to them to give us money. Obviously was going to be about negotiating cutting deals or promotions on the stuff, on the merchandising. We had most of our merchandise was paid off for those sponsors, so that was a good option to work with the sponsors.
So we did made a small presentation, but I was late. So this is what Felipe already told you, and there's Pedro. Pedro is missing. I'm so sad that he's
I'm
not
sorry,
here.
we are missing the sexy voice here.
Yeah, we are missing the sexy voice. I mean, it doesn't look quite finished, I know, but we didn't have that much time. Work is killing all of us. So this is mostly what I ended up doing, like Felipe said, the scheduling, the sponsorship, accommodation, mostly, having the talks with them and the meetings. Felipe also went to some, or probably almost of them, booking mostly the places and making a good organization of the places to visit, even though that was already really already thought about it when we submitted our SERM.
Basically, the program and the bookings were the easiest part.
Because Portugal is small after all. There's not much to see.
There's a lot, but I mean, there is key places that we already knew that they were gonna be on SERM.
Yeah,
for sure.
Then Felipe, like she said, she was mostly the budget part, the merchandising, the food, and she can actually. Do you already said about the place and the struggles we had with the money?
Yeah.
Okay. So also she took care of the acceptance, the letters and the money, because since she was the president, she had to do them back. Sponsorship, and she also did some party searching. Not on purpose, but she did some party searching that we ended up going.
That's of course.
Yeah. So, and Pedro was literally some help that fell from the sky, because he ended up helping us on the event itself, on the SERM, not before. And it was the entertainment, because me and Felipe, most of the time, we were completely wrecked and destroyed. She was most on the budget, and I was most on going to the places during the SERM and talk with the people. We had
the
actually
tour
one
person.
the tour person. we actually had a problem with one of the places because I did the reservation and they thought it was for another day. So, you know, those things can happen. So please check it twice. Otherwise, it will be like really a bad problem, but we managed it. Pedro was also the alarm clock because, you know, me and Filippo, once again, we are completely, and he was also, I don't know, chorizo discover and traditional food
Helped with the
connoisseur.
food, basically.
Yeah. So about the funny moments that we were also asked to talk about, we have some pictures. So this was in the first, probably our second night.
Yeah, it was on
and-
the international night.
Yeah, it was on the international night. We end out because the hostel said we couldn't be making any noise near
Yeah.
the hostel, and it was like the third night. We all went to a park, a kids park, playground, and we made so much noise and so much shit in front of a police station that actually the cops came and we all had to leave and get back to the hostel as soon as possible. This one was in the morning. We went to a place like a game management park or something, and these two guys, they thought it was a really nice idea to just undress themselves to jump to a really small river, like with this of water, like not much at all. This was one of the nights when Felipe found a party, and we
That
went
is
there.
included
Yeah,
on the jobs.
we ended up going to the party with no notice at all. We just went there, crashed the party, ended up completely drinking all their beer. Like they didn't have any more beer after we crashed the party. And I do remember people saying in Portuguese, like, who the hell are these guys? Where did they come from? Is this Erasmus? And I was like laughing out loud in Portuguese because I couldn't understand both sides, and I was like, this is amazing. And this one, it's not really that funny, but it's also you should take into consideration. In our SERM, someone broke his leg in the last night of the SERM, so they were going to depart on the next one, and we were on the beach, and one of our I forgot the name. One of the participants broke the leg, and so I had to go with him to the hospital.
Mateo.
Mateo. We have to,
and here is the reason.
yeah.
So brave, Šimon.
We had to go to the hospital and spend the night there. He ended up going back the next day on this flight because my mom did so like an amazing effort to help him out and take him back. And that's it. I mean, unless you have questions, thank you for listening to us.
It remains the final question that, of course, we would organize another one if we had the chance, of course. Although we had these improvising kind of things to do, we still had a good organization. I guess that besides the money, that demand a little bit of improvisation and like the bookings of the food and everything. Those things always kind of happen, but we are here to share our experience and to make it like better for the next SERM and or others. And for sure we would organize another. I'm a little bit sad because I can't go to anyone to know more, and I only participated in one, but yeah, it was really fun, and we are like we had a lot of fun just to revisit these photos. So yeah, thank you.
And Louisa said something that is true. The cops came many times during that week in Lisbon.
We know nothing.
We know nothing, but they come. They came. I can precise, but
no, Madalena, no,
times.
they didn't come. No, shut up.
So that can happen actually.
I think it was a lot of fun, despite that.
And it was my first SERM with the cops appearing in a SERM. So
it is Lisbon. It is
Lisbon.
it has some things to be careful about, of course. And yeah,
That's the difference between the other SERMs.
it's kind of normal.
It's normal to have the police at your door.
No, but you can do noise, of course. It's a city. It was midnight.
We were talking with Pedro, and we remember that the first day we had like this treasure hunt in the city, and one of the activity was to take a picture with a cop. So
Yeah,
that's the start.
Yeah, it was. I already didn't remember
it was
that,
your
but
idea, Madalena. So you
it was
started.
my idea. Yes, it was my idea. The picture with the cops. It was mine because we have a one of cops downtown Lisbon.
And they were super friendly, I have to say.
They are. They really are super friendly. But I mean, in the first time that they appeared, they only screamed like, "Can you guys go away? Stop making noise!" And we're like, "We don't speak Portuguese. We are foreigners." So we just went away with it. That's the funny part of all the.
And look at the T-shirt.
Nice.
Oh! We still have in RLC
the
how
big
does-
flag, I'd say.
flag with all the
signs,
signatures,
yeah.
and yeah, it is like there for all time.
Nice.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for your presentation. And are there any questions for Madalena and Filipa? Filipa, no, sorry.
Yeah.
How are you teleported? You mean-
If not, we can jump to the section for the RRs. And if you still have some questions later, you always can go back and ask.
Emil is back, so maybe we can
Yeah,
continue.
Okay, yeah.
Emil came to visit Lioba basically because I'm in Switzerland and my battery died. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
Should I continue or?
Feel free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. In general, we were 3 people. We started. Well, the concept, the whole idea started in the summer, but late September we started actually working on it. So it was about half a year of preparation. Intensively. So as you know, as most of the people here, the hosts talked, it was sponsorships, where to sleep, where to eat, who to talk to, as well as participant communication, everything. Because we were so little people, there was kind of some task separation, but we kind of always covered for each other if needed. As I started to say about the thesis topic, my two other team partners, they could not postpone their thesis, so they were very concentrated on that. I postponed it, so basically it was me on the computer a lot during the day. And when you gather enough tasks, when the girls had time, they would do fundamentally more important things, as in talk to some institutions or talk to some places to sleep or some major organizational things, while I was just like coordinating the trains where to go, basically. But in general, yes, it took us 6 months. In our experience, at first we started by the book with sponsorships, adapted our strategy little by little, found out that in our country and in our place, funds and budgets are either non-existent or very difficult. So something important that we had to do was to change the concept. The first change in the concept was, it was not about really hosting physically a meeting. It was more about having a cause for students. Corporations and companies love to help causes. So yes, we're doing this because the students need to connect and they're our future and everything like this. That's a lot better to say instead of hello, there's 50 people coming in this hotel. Can we get some money for it? They don't really approve on that approach. That was the better strategy, but that does not change the fact that the companies were not open at all. Also, something important, if you do consider sponsorships, it's important to do them before Christmas, if possible, because most of them finish and finalize their yearly budget. So if you're not done by middle of December, if you're still looking for something, most of them probably will say, well, we're just finishing our budget. We don't have any more funds. Try again in springtime. And that's kind of late. So it depends how you approach it. In any case, neither approach was very efficient for us. So what we did was we turned it upside down and we started contacting mostly big professors in the university who have good connections with either institutions or, let's say, like forestry reserves or hunting reserves, which of course would say if we go to a certain hunting reserve or something similar, that hunting reserve would provide us the lunch that we are going to have there. So it kind of, half of the days we decided to let the places we go to with the people that are there, that we visit, to host they themselves the day for us, but in little scale. So it worked. For us, otherwise, yes, a lot of hotels that you call. Something important for food, do very good calculation when it comes to vegetarian, especially, for vegans, because Central Europe is great. Eastern Europe is still a little bit behind. So when you tell the ladies up in the woods, in the lodge, that a vegan does not eat butter or bread, well, not bread, but basically, any animal product, and they're like, can they eat croissant or can they eat some cheese? And then, you're just basically, you give up on everything. Eventually, some ladies just served tomato and cucumber for lunch for those people. Be very careful when it comes to the meals for food, because we want to keep everyone happy. Otherwise, for the logistics, we had 47 people, so we got a 50-person bus. So with one big bus, we managed to fit all the people. Now, the tasks during the meeting itself, Emil was the one who was throughout all days everywhere with the group. Violetta was the one who was, as other people said, the car with the logistics. So she was basically the 112 number for anything. She would go to one place first, make sure everything's okay, go to the next place, transport things. I guess every meeting has a special case. On the Swiss term, someone fell off a balcony. On the Portuguese, someone broke a leg. For ours, there was this girl that got bit by I think she got bit by a dog before. So now coming to Bulgaria, she was from Canada. She says, I need to get my second rabies shot, which for us was a very particular situation. How do you take someone from Canada to a hospital in the middle of the woods for a rabies shot with her insurance? I don't know. So of course that car had to figure it out and travel across Bulgaria to take this girl there. Have a car that's standby for good. Is everything all right? A car with good logistical capabilities to help. Otherwise, during our meeting, I think everything went well. When it came to sleeping and food and driving around the country, something I noticed that was most important, we can do as much organization as we can. We can do every single step and every single movement of the whole thing. But what was the best thing was when I was a bit late the first day because of organizational stuff. So when I came to the meeting point, most of the people were there. The first and best thing I got after 6 months waiting for our baby was to to see everyone there mixing. There was no separate groups all over the place. It was one big group, all of them on one big table in one big hallway, all of them just all over the place talking. Everyone was friends and everyone was very open towards the others, which was very nice. That was the best, as Ljoba said, present that you could get when you saw it. So the whole meeting, no matter how much we organized it, the participants were the ones who organized the whole meeting in general. Make sure when you host something, always find a place with a roof access, because everyone loves to climb on the roofs of buildings. Make sure there's a lot of closed doors, but not locked, so that they can enter doors during the night at 1 or at 2. Make sure to put them in the woods so the police doesn't come. And so they can shout all they want. And what else to make sure? Make sure you have a fire extinguisher, because someone might decide to start a fire somewhere. This is all kinds of things that would make the meeting very, very happy and everyone very happy.
Make sure they can't climb at all.
Well, yes, they can. They're going to jump from window to window on big buildings, and
or just I don't know. Or just when we were in Bulgaria, one of the last nights, and they were just like jumping, grabbing those big, I forgot the word, roof things, and they were just like climbing like this and like
those ones, for example.
Yeah, exactly. I do remember we having a dinner and like the French or something, completely nuts about. I was like,
yeah, there was these two French guys. One was a grown man in 30 plus. The other guy, I don't know how old he was.
The same age.
People were eating on the tables, and the two guys are up on the wooden beams like monkeys going over the place. So, if you're part of the team and the OC, the organizational committee, just let things happen and just smile and make sure, you keep everyone safe, but do not interfere. And that's how the best meeting happens. Also, prepare something extra. Yes, make sure there's a patient bus driver, because at some point we were on a very difficult road up in the mountain, and everyone was shouting so much in the bus that our driver basically a little bit got angry. He's like, starts honking the horn of the bus. I managed to calm him down, and he did not even need a microphone in the bus. He shouted so much. So everyone all the way to the back heard him, and it was almost the end of the journey, so they had to be quiet only for 5 minutes. They got out of the bus, and of course, all hell broke loose with everyone, just like an explosion of participants all over the place. Oh, another thing, make sure to have a good place to start a fire. Starting a fire, fireplace, I mean outside, camping fire, not something more indoors. People very much like that. And bring a guitar. Would I host it again? Of course, but in a few years, I guess, when you can have the full experience. And also something important, actually, now that I remember, if your LC, more administrative, if your LC is hosting an event, if you get funds or sponsorships or whatever, you have to be a properly registered NGO or whatever your platform is for funds to come in. So another thing from my team that one of the girls had to do was she became the president of our LC. So she had to redo the bank systems and constitutions and everything for the SERM budget, so that funds can come in and then can be legally used. So yeah, those are my highlights, I guess. If everyone has any questions or something, you can ask. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for your highlights and advices. Are there any questions on any of the OC representatives?
I have one for all of them, possibly. And is how do you think? Do you think there is a way that participants could help, maybe during the event, to release some pressure from the OC?
pick up the OC and just throw them in the air as much as possible all the time. That's what the myth and the legend is that OC, the organizing committee, likes to be thrown up in the air by the participants. That's just a legend.
And lots of capotone.
Capotone. So one way is up, another way is down, basically. You know, you either throw them in the air or you put them on the ground with as many participants on top as possible.
Give them alcohol, tons of it, and like one night at least for it so they can party.
Yeah, yes. A lot of calls from Slovakia.
The capotone is strictly Italian copyright. So yes.
In my case, something that gave me some, made me feel a bit like less stressed was the night where we found a party in Lisboa that Filipa found in one of the colleges. And that was the night I said to myself, you know what, I'm being so hard on myself on making everything, of course, going right, because that's the idea. But I'm being so hard on them as well that this night is also for me. And I just decided to go on and watch them.
Yeah, you have, as an OC, you have to have just at some point, just relax. Just it's in progress, it's happening, and it's gonna, the participants are there and they're organizing the meeting themselves, kind of just go with it, go with the flow.
Yeah.
I ended up being called the general because I was shouting so much and making everyone on the bus at the exact time, because everyone was always late. Yeah, also count with that because people will be late in the mornings and it's awful. And I was always like completely stressed out of that. Because during the day it's easier, but in the morning it's really hard sometimes to wake up people and make them be on time. And that was my main problem, because since I was the person that, scheduled the things and scheduled the plans and did everything else, I was like, I can't be late for something like this with these people that are our partners or sponsors. So that was a really factor of stress, but I ended up just, if you are late, you are late. And we had Pedro to do as alarm clock. So that went along great, because it just dragged people from the beds and like go have the breakfast. So have a personal alarm clock as well will help you.
Either personal alarm clock or the IFSA patent, bring a very loud stereo and play as loud as you can in the corridors music. Or open the doors, put the stereo for 2 minutes in each door, and everyone will wake up eventually.
True.
Maybe on a less chaotic, a bit more positive note about participants helping, it can also be very, very good teamwork. For example, in our SERM, we had 1 or even 2 houses that we had to clean after we left there. So all the participants helped cleaning the house. So we cleaned out the rooms, we had people clean the kitchen and the common rooms where we partied the night before. So you know what that looks like. It worked perfectly. Everyone was helping, everyone was active and doing something. So we didn't even have to shout at everyone that much, just a little bit.
Was that part of the waiver?
Well, we should have made it part of the waiver, but
mandatory cleaning.
It works if you ask them to, and if you put good music. Participants are amazing. They cleaned the whole, it was a scout home.
The sober ones.
Yeah, the sober ones, and the rest one just tags along. That's why you have 50 people. So it works very well.
The sober ones, and if everyone in IFSA doesn't say that your country is a party country. That's the problem with Portugal, because everyone keeps saying that since we are near the beach, it will be like almost like some kind of vacations, because we have beaches, and we're like, we have other things than that, guys. Are going to see forests, please stop. So I think that was some kind of a problem, not by us ourselves. Of course, we like to party. We went to party also in Bulgaria. So that was not it. It was mostly the idea that people came to visit Portugal was kind of, it's not prejudice, because that's not a bad thing, but like didn't help that much to keep the meeting really on tight, because people were just like thinking about like, okay, so here we can have just, it's like the Maldives or wherever, or Benalmádena, I don't know. So it was a bit complicated with the idea that they pre-made before coming. But other than that, what Liaba said completely, it's really doable.
Okay, thank you for
Sorry,
sharing.
can I make it more
Yeah,
specific?
of course.
The question. Like the answer were absolutely fine, of course. But I was thinking, would you consider like making a system before the event, so you know that, for example, those people are willing to help, and you could give them tasks like clock in the morning, or helping with the food, with distributing the food, small tasks. But I think that in that moment, especially if the OCs are few people, I think it's helpful. So what do you think?
I think if you say it from the beginning, if something like that, everyone is, like Madalena said, if you don't have wrong expectations, everything works out perfect. And I think every participant coming to a SERM would help giving out food and waking up in the morning. And I think everyone would participate in that, especially if you don't have a lot of helpers. You just turn the participants into helpers and they would do it. But I think it's good if you just say it from the start. And always, there is ways to make everything fun. So it can work.
Something I can include, I was also on the Italian, Luisa, the Italian SERM in 2016. That's when we got elected. I remember there was probably more Italians in the team than participants, maybe, I'm not sure. There was so many people in the kitchen cleaning and cooking, and I don't know what else that, you at one point I was not sure if it's a participant or if it's a team member. But in any case, Luisa, it's been 5 years now. Is Italy not considering, I've seen your face for a very long time. Something about Italy rehosting again on question number 5? Perhaps?
The question number 5, what was that?
Would you go for it again if you had the chance?
Yeah, I'm almost graduating, but I hope they will do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, but as you say, our case was very particular, specific, because we were 3 LCs, and yeah, I mean, it's hard when you are few people, but also when there are too many people, and that was the case.
There was a lot of people. I remember, so for example, the Italian was 3 LCs in 3 different territories in Italy, so 3 different hosting approaches. That's also a good example for a SERM. If you remember a bit more, you can tell us. If there's time, though, I don't know.
Yeah, I was participating just to the last part that was in my city.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about, and yeah, I think it was nice because you get to discover different parts of Italy and also different LCs. But in the other hand, maybe you didn't have like the, it was also longer, right? It was 10 days.
It was 10 days, yes. A long one. Ours was 8.
Yeah, but like maybe for DLC, you don't get to know the participant that well as you would do in a normal SERM with, always the same OC. So it was kind of, there were good points, but also, sorry, there are some noises.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for sharing. But I guess we should now jump to the RR part because we are a little bit behind the schedule.
Yes.
So yeah, like if there are some more questions, you can still ask later. But yeah, right now we will go for the RR part. So with Elif, we will present you a little bit of our experience.
Yeah, okay. So for our part, we will start with why we became RRs, and then we will tell you about our work a bit. And then we will tell you about the pros and cons of being an RR. And at the end, we will discuss about the time issues. So see you, Madalena. And bye. And I will start with why I became an RR. So I applied for the RR position at first in the SERM 2019. Before that, I was considering for applying for official position, but I wasn't sure for which one. So and then later on, I thought to be an RR is really suits me because it's a chance to connect with a lot of people and you get to share amazing opportunities with the members. So, and also you have a great partner that completes you. So as a second term RR, it's really important to have a good partner. And with the 2 terms, I had amazing partner, Lizon and Šimon. So we did really good things together and we are continuing to do this work. So yeah.
Okay, now a little bit about my reasons. Surprisingly, I also wanted to be more involved in with IFSA. After a few years of participating in IFSA and after participating in the SERM 2018 in Portugal and getting inspired, among others, by Lioba as the RR, I also wanted to become the RR. I was searching the IFSA web, and this position seemed like the best for me because it seemed that it's most in contact with the members from the region. And so like half a year before the open call, I contacted Elif, who was the RR at the time as well. And I was just asking the question about the position and the time management, how much time it takes, and many other questions. And so I was like making plans for and some ideas for the application. And in the end, yeah, I applied and I'm here now. Okay, now a little bit about our work. Firstly, with the official team. Here you can see the photo from the interim from the last year in Brno in Czechia. And this interim this year, which was unfortunately online. So what are our main tasks with Elif in this, especially in this year with officials, is the preparing the inter-regional calls that we create for cooperating of Southern Europe with the other regions to meet other IFSA members from other parts of the world and to exchange some forestry facts and cultural facts and just make some stronger bonds with across the regions. Then now we work on welcome packages for the potential LCs and for interested students who are not yet in IFSA but would like to be, which will be hopefully finished before the end of this year. Also, it's like needed to cooperate with other commissions. For example, with partner commission, we need to be aware of some opportunities for the members, for example, with traineeships or some delegations and so on. And also we are in close relation with the social media subcommission and design when we want to share some events or create some posts and so on. And yeah, of course, interim is the main biggest event for officials, which is held once in a year in the middle of the term, when usually it is a physical one, this year online, when the officials come together and just summarizing what has been done during the previous half year and what are the plans for the next half of the term and so on.
And about the work in our region, here you can see the picture from our last coffee hour, which it took place this, when was it?
3 years ago.
Oh yeah, on Tuesday. And yeah, so I will tell more about in the next slide. As an RR, it's hard to say you have a fixed work tasks because you can prepare your own projects, or you can brainstorm with your partner and come up with new ideas together. But there are some strict tasks that you should do, which is monthly coffee hours. It's really important to organize the coffee hours because it's one of the meetings that you gather the representatives from the local committees and give them the updates about the region, and also tell them about the opportunities in IFSA or outside of IFSA. And also we do monthly cover photo challenge. It's really nice way to share about the region in the Facebook group, and people tend to share the pictures from their countries and share the facts from the pictures. So it's really a good way to communicate with each other. And also this year we started the LC webinar series, which is 2 or more than 2 LCs gathered together and organize a webinar. It turned out really amazing collaborations. So we hope it will continue. Sorry. I hope it will continue in the next months, also in this year. Also, as I said before, it's important for us to keep the region updated with the news and the opportunities. And also as RRs, we assist the SERM OC with the internal side of IFSA and also anything external if we can help. Also, finding new potential LCs is one of our tasks. So far, we have two more LCs joined us, and yeah, so it's really great this year. And also, promoting the Discord server is something new. IFSA just established a Discord server this year, and it's really amazing way to connect the members. But besides Discord, we also promote other social media channels, and we just try to engage the members in the best way as possible. Also, right now we have a project in process, which is the annual regional yearbook. So this year we would like to start this as a tradition, and we will gather the statistics from the regions and also include the highlights from the IFSA year. And hopefully this will also continue in other years. And also another thing is regional awards, which will take place during online SERM. So we have right now 5 categories to award, and we are very excited about it. So, yeah.
Okay, now let's move to pros and cons. So firstly, pros. There are many more of them. So the first thing is getting the deeper knowledge of the IFSA functioning, because you need to be in contact with other commissions and other officials. So you know more how it works. And yeah, it's like, as I said, it's one of the positions that is closest to the members, I would say, from the region. So you are getting tighter connections with them, as well as with the other officials, and especially with the other RR, because we are in contact basically almost every day. And it's amazing if you fit with the RR partner as much as we did with Elif. Another thing is that from the official, yeah, I already mentioned it, that is the closest to the members, I would say. At least that's my point of view when I'm almost 1 year in the position. And yeah, because you need to follow the opportunities that are not only in IFSA, but also outside IFSA, and to share it with the region. You get a broader overview of these opportunities. And so far, I have developed such a alarm in my brain when I see any position or any traineeship or PhD position, whatever. I have the alarm clock that I should promote this with the region. So it's really nice. So you get this during this work.
As Šimon said, there is not much of a cons. We couldn't came up, to be honest. And yeah, so there's 2 things. Sometimes it's hard to keep up when there is workload from university, especially during the exam period. It sometimes gets hard. But as you have a partner, you divide the task with each other and you overcome it eventually. But sometimes this is a little bit con. And the other thing is there's so many different channels and social media to follow up and share the opportunities. So sometimes it gets hard to keep up with all the opportunities and share them. So this is the other con. We don't have many.
Yeah, like it's not just that we are trying to sell this position as best as possible, but it's like really we couldn't find anything more.
Yeah. And about the time issues, in the beginning, the position is more time demanding because you are getting used to the position, and also you need to learn how the things are working, and also the changeover can be a little bit hard. But after the time goes on and you get used to it and you know what to do, it gets more easier. And the average time to work is around 3 to 5 hours per week, but it's totally up to you, it can change. And also most time-consuming activities are organizing and finding an idea for the coffee hours, for the agenda, and to find a way to have to make it interesting for people to join, because it's really important to make people join to the calls. And also inter-regional call preparations are a bit hard because there is a lot of time zone difference, and also it might get hard to get in touch fast with the other RRs because of this time difference also. So yeah, these are the time issues.
Yeah, okay, that was all from our experience, and now just like for those who consider to apply for the positions or for organizing SERM, how to apply. For the regional representative, you need to have a verification letter from the president of your LC or from the board of your LC. Write a motivation letter with some ideas what you would like to do in the position, and that's maximum 800 words, and maximum 2-minute video where you basically also speak about your motivation, why you apply, and so on. And for the SERM, you should have a presentation. It can be in Google Slides or PowerPoint, but Google Slides are recommended, about your proposal, about your agenda. Planned agenda is just a rough one, or about the intended budget and so on. And also you can have a short video, but that's an optional thing. And all the applications must be sent to open call. How is it called? The thing, yeah, ifsa.net. And the deadline for the application for Southern Europe is 30th April. For Northern Europe, as we have Alina here, is 25th April. So, and we don't have other regions here. So these are the deadlines. And yeah, that was all from our part. So now if you have any question, just feel free to ask. Or if not.
Can I make a tough one?
Sure.
Like how was it, like since, for example, Elif was RR even before the COVID situation, how was like during it, or I cannot say after it, like did it change? Of course, I guess.
I would say it had positive and negative impacts, because the negative part is obviously we cannot meet physically, and it's the biggest issue, I think, because especially the regional meetings, you get most connected to the people and get to know about the region and learn how IFSA works, or before IFSS. But during COVID, we got really active online and we organized so many amazing events. And also, I think it connected regions even more, because with this LC webinar series and inter-regional calls, we are more connecting more than ever. So I think for the future, it's a positive thing to continue doing.
And I cannot compare. Is there anything else or not?
Can I ask?
Sure.
We talk about for different channels. Which kind of different channels? Can you explain?
Yeah, just like in Facebook group, Facebook event, Facebook page, then on Instagram, on Discord now newly, and with Discord we are still newbies, so it's like especially in the beginning it was most difficult, and for me it still is. And yeah, so just like get used to it and to share in each of these channels. Yeah, for example, I'm not much Instagram person, so for me it's also difficult to get used to it, to follow it, and to not to forget to share things there. And yeah, anything? Did I forget any of the channels?
That's all, like pretty much Facebook, Instagram, Discord, and so on.
So I'm not on Instagram, so I don't know. Is it just the IFSA page that you have to manage, or is there like a separate Southern Europe IFSA?
We have IFSA Europe Instagram page. It's together with Northern Europe, because sometimes the opportunities consist both of the regions. So in the beginning we thought, why not just do it together instead of dividing it? And yeah, so basically we just share there the IFSA news, and also if there is any webinars organized by the local committees, we also promote it there instead of the main channel. So like there are some things that needs to be promoted regionally, then on international level. So we use the Instagram for more of that.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay.
Okay, if there is
another one. Sorry. Did you develop any skill? I guess so. Like, can you tell us how the position helped you to developing, for example, soft skills or anything?
Yeah, okay, for sure. For us, it developed mind reading of each other. There's so often that one of us just writes to the other one like some idea or something that he or she is thinking of, and the second one is just like, I was just now thinking of the same. So this is almost every time. And yeah, since I am not a really good presenter, but when I repeat it every coffee hour and interregional call and so on, I'm not still used to it, but it's getting better. So it helps, yeah, for me.
Yeah, for me also, like I get always nervous when speaking for public, and we all the time have calls, so it gets better. It's not still for certain good, but it gets better. So it helped me in that way.
Yeah, same. I'm still nervous, but I'm getting used to being nervous.
You are great, guys. I didn't notice, actually.
Thank you.
That's good. On the camera, it's not that much visible as it is here for me when I'm, for example, shaking, or when I hear my voice shaking or something. Okay, so if there are not more questions, if you just ask, we have in the Mentimeter still, yeah, you can go to menti.com if you aren't there already, and put the code 31128595, and we still have a few questions, 2 or 3 questions. So first one is if this session have been helpful for you. And especially for those who are considering the application for RR or organizing SERM or NERM.
Šimon, can you repeat the number?
The number?
It's written
okay.
on the
yeah,
top.
the code. Yeah, I know it's written, but it's, yeah.
Okay, 31128595. seems nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that basically everyone was already there. That's nice. And the next one, if this changed somehow, if you are still considering to apply for the RR, or if you weren't before, if you are, or maybe. Nice. Okay. And the last question, I think, if you are considering with your LC to apply for hosting the next regional meeting.
First of all, 3 answers is for us. We are hosting this year. Camila and Marcy and I, we are here.
Okay, so everyone answered also for this one.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's the end of our presenting. Yeah, so still, if you have any questions or comments about OCs or for OCs or for us, just feel free to ask or comment.